Alright, what's going on guys, for a minute back at it again in here for the video for you guys for today. And today, yes, I am in here for my Raw review. And with that being said, of course, we had the Fallout into Night of Champions. And with that being said, overall, I thought Raw was a good show. And also with that being said, not wasting any much more time and getting right into the Raw review. And if we kick things off with our first promo of the night, and that's right, CM Punk coming out, basically, talking about, his match with Triple H, and with all the shit that happened with Kevin Nash, interfering, the Awesome Truth interfering, and saying that his private's hurt, and saying, and in a way, kind of agreeing with our truth that there is some sort of conspiracy, but not the same conspiracy that our truth is thinking, and that a different kind of conspiracy, and that someone is working with the Awesome Truth and Kevin Nash, and trying to have CM Punk and Triple H argue with one another, and have each other tear each other apart and stuff like that. Then we have Triple H coming out also as well, talking about how he's been been beaten up, and by Kevin Nash and everything, and then not really in a good mood, and also having CM Punk have his rematch. Of course, it will be at Hell in the Cell, in a triple threat Hell in the Cell with him, John Cena, and Alberto Del Rio. So CM Punk will get his rematch for the WWE Championship, of course, as well. And what should be good triple threat. So we'll be looking forward for that. And Triple H also going to say whoever is responsible, what's been going on, especially with Night of Champions in the main event, will be fired. So who does exactly get fired? Well, I will mention that later on in this Raw review, so stay tuned for that. After that, we come back from commercial. We have our first matchup of the night, which was an 8-man tag team match. Of course, with this one, we see Air Boom, Justin Gabriel, and Sheamus against Christian and former Nexus members, with Wade Barrett, of course, and Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga. And with this one, I thought it was a good 8-man tag. We saw a lot of good stuff from all these guys. Of course, everyone getting involved. So we saw some good spots as well. And in the end, of course, Team Air Boom getting the win here with Sheamus giving the Celtic Cross, I believe, which was to David Otunga at the time. Of course, Christian not wanting to get the Celtic Cross, and that whole altercation, of course, coming into play as well. So, made up for a good 8-man tag, and that's what pretty much happened with that one. Right after that, we did have another match, Alberto Del Rio versus John Morrison. Now, with this one, could have been a lot more better. Basically, Alberto Del Rio get his frustrations out on, John Morrison, and pretty much, pissed off after losing his WWE Championship, and wanting another match, for the championship, and not really agreeing that John Cena is a new champion. So with that being said, Del Rio makes John Morrison tap out, and pretty much what we've seen, from him before, and really sending John Morrison and really John Cena a message too that he wants the championship back. So Del Rio defeated John Morrison. So nothing really too much happened with that much, but it could have been a lot better. So that's it when it comes to that. Then we get into a match that we were supposed to have, and it was supposed to be Sin Cara against Cody Rhodes with this one, non-title matchup. And before we even got the match, underway or even started, we have the other Sin Cara that's right coming out, and having this whole stare down, and it looks like we might have a match made in 2 weeks at Hell in the Cell. So which I will be looking forward for what should be a good match with Mystico and as well as Unico. So that should be a good match in itself, and I've been looking forward for that for a while. So whether or not it's going to be at Hell in the Cell, who knows, we'll have to wait and see. But we did get that stare down last night on Raw, so that's it when it comes to that. Then we get into a promo with Mark Henry basically saying to the haters that he doesn't forgive them, and that he's enjoying his moment as world champion, and after being there for 15 years, happy that he's got the world heavyweight championship, and that not letting anyone get in his way, and that pretty much take out anyone who gets in his way, and inducts him into the Hall of Pain. We had Jim Ross, interviewing Mark Henry in this one, and Mark Henry not happy about that Jim Ross, didn't believe in him for, becoming a future World Heavyweight Champion. Now that he's a champion, he wants, apology. Jim Ross, eventually tries to go for that. Mark Henry gets pissed off and eventually almost gave him the World Strangler Slam, but of course, the King came out and tried to stop the whole thing. Eventually, that didn't happen, and that backfired, and of course, with that being said, Mark Henry inducting the King into the Hall of Fame and giving him the World Strongest Slam to the announcers table and sending him a message and to everyone else. So, Mark Henry has been on the road, and I'm liking where this is going. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to take out Mark Henry next, and then what's going to happen after that. So it was a good promo, and it was actually pretty cool seeing Mark Henry with the world title and seeing what he's going to do next with it. So that's it when it comes to that one. And then we get into the Divas Tag Team match. Kelly and Eve taking out the Divas of Doom in this one. And with this one, this is a good, tag team match. And, we see some pretty good things by both teams here. In the end, of course, Kelly and Eve get the win. It would have made more sense to have the Divas of Doom get their payback after that as champions, but that didn't happen. So hopefully, somehow, the Divas of Doom will eventually get their revenge and actually look strong, hopefully, which would have made more sense to have them win last night, but that wasn't the case. So nonetheless, it was a good Divas Tag Team match. Right after that, we do have another match. It was another title match. Dolph Ziggler against, that's right, Zack Ryder. And this one was a good match. I was into this one. We see some good things by Zack Ryder in this one, and as well with Dolph Ziggler as well. Want to detail a little briefly what we did get to see here. In this one, we see the right hands, the kick to the gut as well. Obviously, the Broski boot by Zack Ryder here. See the stomps as well as the neck breaker, and as well as the double clothesline as well. And we also had Hugh Jackman at ringside, which actually helped a little bit with Zack Ryder, and helped in a way, get the win. And we see the Rough Rider, and that's why Zack Ryder defeats Dolph Ziggler in this one, and what was a good match. So and actually Hugh Jackman did actually not that bad of a job. I thought he did a good job, with being a guest star and everything. We didn't really see him too much, so we had him, with the promo with Dolph Ziggler early on in the night, which was good. And again, for that match, so we didn't get to see him a whole lot, which is fine. So he did a good job nonetheless. So we'll give him props to that. So that was cool to see there. Then we get into the main event, the Awesome Truth against CM Punk and John Cena, to see how they would coexist with one another. And with this one, this was a good match, and we see some good things by all these teams, everyone getting involved. We see the double teams, and the Awesome Truth trying to get their act together, and hopefully not be fired and lose their job, and apologizing to the referee, and being nice with the referee too, of course. So we did get to see that. We see the DDT, of course, by the Miz in this one. We see the Gauntlet's suplex by John Cena, the high knee that CM Punk does, and as well as the flying clothesline. We almost see the GTS at one point. We see a couple of good things about R-Truth, but in the end, CM Punk and John Cena end up getting the defeat, which was a good main event with that. And right after that, Triple H comes out and announces who was going to get fired and who did get fired. And that's right, the Awesome Truth, R-Truth, and the Miz ends up getting fired overall after, what they did at Night of Champions, and actually suffering from it. So what's going to happen next with the Awesome Truth? Is this the last we're going to see from them? Will we see them in SmackDown? Who knows? So I'm looking forward to see where that's going to go. And we still have some other questions to be answered, especially with Kevin Nash, so hopefully we'll get that answered too as well. So that about does it for this Raw review. Let me know what you guys thought are, what you liked about the show, what you didn't like about the show, what you thought could have been more differently. And that about does it for this Raw review. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions, and please do not be afraid to leave a comment down below in the comment box. And as always, I will talk to you guys later on. Peace.